गोपिकान्तं राधाकान्तं नमस्ते तत्त्वकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
Hare Krishna. Continuing our study and discussion from the third chapter of the first canto, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And we see from verse number 6 onwards, Srila Sutta Goswami is explaining about the various Leela avatars. So first he speaks that the first incarnation that appears is the four Kumaras. And what was so very special of the four Kumaras? Yes, Sonika?
Probably from birth they were Brahmins only. They have and they were representation of Gyan.
Also, okay, good. But there was some other very important aspect. Two more important aspect was mentioned.
They have never undergone the Grihastha ashram, Prabhuji, and they were.
That is not mentioned. But what is mentioned is, what did they do? Yes, Dayashil Prabhu.
So Prabhuji, they vowed to become celibate and also they perform austerity, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. They vowed to maintain celibacy, brahmacharya akhanditam, and they performed very severe austerities. Thus they were Brahmana. And why were they performing austerity? What was the purpose of performing the austerity? Purushottam Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It was also mentioned, yeah.
So for the welfare of woman.
For the welfare of women?
No, human.
Human. No. Yes, Ganesh Prabhu? पढ़ना पड़ेगा, बिना पढ़े नहीं आएगा.
Prabhuji, Brahman realization for the Brahman.
Not Brahman realization, still not correct. For the realization of? Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, the process of Brahman realization.
No. What the translation says, what Prabhupada speaks, the translation. You have to hear very attentively. Yes, Pradeep Prabhu. Why were they performing such austerities?
Because to attain the jnana, Prabhuji, jnana shakti.
No. What is the purpose of Bhagavatam? Yes, Purushottam. आपने देखा पुस्तक से? बोलिए बोलिए, आपने हाथ उठाया है?
For Brahman realization.
To see the translation, what does Prabhupada write in the translation? First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who being situated in the vow of celibacy, that is brahmacharya akhanditam, underwent severe austerities. Chachara dushcharam. Brahma for the realization of the absolute truth. This is the purpose of Bhagavatam. First, it establishes who is the absolute truth, and it gives the process how to realize the absolute truth. So the Kumaras took the process of austerity and celibacy. And of course, they have the empowerment of Jnana Shakti. Okay, what is the next incarnation? Second incarnation, Dvitiya. Quickly, yesterday we discussed. Those who have not spoken, Pranav, what is the second incarnation?
Prabhuji, boar.
And what was so special about the boar incarnation?
Supreme Lord appeared as boar to protect the earth, which was drowning.
Yes. And what else? There's something very unique which was mentioned in the purport. Find some 10 minutes. If you just find 7 to 10 minutes, you'll be able to read what we have covered. Best is to even study what we have not covered. And then you can fully be participating. We are not completing one chapter in a day. Normally, when we sit in our Bhakti Vaibhav class, it's a 2.5 hour session, one chapter is completed. Very difficult to remember the full chapter. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, you explained yesterday that even if Lord have taken the form of boar, but still he remained transcendental in all his forms.
Yeah. So the form is for a function. The Lord takes a special form. He incarnates to perform a special function. Ramya Mataji has written about it. She has. Anyone read it? No one read it also. She has given the main essence to what we discussed yesterday. She mentioned this point. So the form comes because of the function of the Lord. So he takes Nana avatar makarod bhavuneshu kintu. Brahmaji is saying. So he comes and he appears in various multifarious forms to perform multifarious functions. So in that incarnation, he, as was said, that he recovers the earth from the nether regions, which is impossible for anyone else to do, and it was in a filthy place. So he had to take the boar incarnation because no other being can go into that place, which is not suitable. It was filthy, Prabhupada is mentioning. Okay. Then what is the third incarnation? Manoram Prabhu, what is the third incarnation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, he incarnated as Narad Muni.
Okay.
He is the representation of Bhakti Shakti, and also he helps the jivas to undertake non-fruitive activities, Prabhuji, Nishkam Karma.
Nishkarmya. Very good. He inspires to engage in devotional service. And as one engages in devotional service, he can be freed from fruitive actions or fruitive activities. Very good. Thank you. And we also discussed the fourth incarnation. What is the fourth incarnation? Pranav Prabhu. Devashish, why again your video is off? If you want to keep your video off, you can keep your audio also off. You can go and sleep.
Prabhuji, Narayan Rishi.
Okay. What is so special about Narayan Rishi?
They perform austerity in Badrinath.
What about them? What is mentioned about them? What was mentioned in the verse?
To control senses, Prabhuji.
That is them. They are the twin sons of King Dharma. The twin sons of King Dharma. Okay, so we will continue with the next incarnation, the fifth incarnation. This is verse number 10. pañcamaḥ kapilo nāma siddheśaḥ kāla-viplutam prāpto asuraye sāṅkhyaṁ tattva-grāma-vinirṇayam pañcamaḥ kapilo nāma. So the fifth incarnation, named Lord Kapila. And he is siddheśaḥ. Yeah. Siddha means perfected. Siddheśaḥ. He is the foremost among those who are perfected beings. And what is the perfected? What was lost? Kāla-viplutam. So he is the foremost among perfected being. And what did he propagate, or what was his contribution? Provācāsuraye sāṅkhyaṁ tattva-grāma. Sāṅkhyaṁ is metaphysics, Prabhupada is saying here. But Sāṅkhya means the deliberation and the difference between matter and spirit, or particularly the study of the 24 elements. So his contribution is that he gave an exposition of the creative elements and metaphysics to Asuri Brahmana. For in course of time, this knowledge has been lost. Let us see the purport. The sum total of the creative elements is 24 in all. As we mentioned, each and every one of them is explicitly explained in the system of Sāṅkhya philosophy. So the propounder of Sāṅkhya philosophy is Lord Kapil or Kapil Muni. Sāṅkhya philosophy is generally called metaphysics by the European scholars. The etymological meaning of Sāṅkhya is that which very lucidly by analysis explains very lucidly by analysis of the material elements. This was done for the first time by Lord Kapila, who is said herein to be the fifth in the line of incarnation. So great detail is mentioned about Lord Kapil and his teachings. Which canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? There are more than 10 chapters dedicated to his teachings of Sāṅkhya Yoga. Krishna also speaks about the Sāṅkhya Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Sāṅkhya Yoga prithak bala pravadanti avapashrita. We discussed in the 5th chapter. So in the 3rd canto, there is a great detailed discourse of Lord Kapila's Sāṅkhya Yoga. Then we go to the next incarnation. So very briefly it is mentioned. ṣaṣṭhama atrer apatyatvaṁ vṛtaḥ prāpto nasūyayā ānvīkṣikīm alarkāya prahlādādibhya ūcivān. The 6th incarnation of the Purusha was the son of sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anusuyaya, who prayed for an incarnation. He spoke on the subject of transcendence to Alarkāya, Prahlād and others. This is the incarnation of sage Atri and mother Anusūya. They are called the Dattatreya. The Lord incarnated himself as Dattatreya, the son of Rishi Atri and Anusūya. The history of the birth of Dattatreya as an incarnation of the Lord is mentioned in the Brahmand Puran in connection with the story of the devoted wife. It is said there that Anusūya, the wife of Rishi Atri, prayed before Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva as follows. My Lord, if you are pleased with me and if you desire me to ask from you some sort of blessings, then I pray that you combine together to become my son. This was accepted by the Lord as Dattatreya. The Lord expounded the philosophy of the spirit soul and specially instructed Alarkāya, prahlādādibhya, Yadu, Haya, etc. So this is the incarnation of Dattatreya. The three Guna avatars, they combine to become one. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. Tataḥ saptama ākūtyāṁ rucer yajño bhyajāyata sāyambhuvāntaram sura-gaṇair svāyambhuvāntaram. The seventh incarnation was Yajño, the son of Prajapati Ruci and his wife Akriti. There were three daughters, Akriti, Prasuti and Devahuti. Devahuti was married to Kardam Muni. So here it is being talked about the other daughters of Maharaj Manu. Maharaj Manu had three daughters, Akriti, Prasuti and Devahuti. So Devahuti's lineage is explained in the third canto, and then later in the fourth canto, the other two daughters' lineage is explained in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So here it is said that the incarnation, seventh incarnation was Yajño, the son of Prajapati Ruci and his wife Akriti. He controlled the period during the reign of Swayambhuva Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. Yajño, you understand, the personified sacrifice. Yajño, the personality of personified sacrifice. That was the seventh incarnation. The administrative post occupied by the demigods for maintaining the regulations of the material world are offered to the highly elevated pious living beings. When there is scarcity of such pious living beings, the Lord incarnates himself as Brahma, Prajapati, Indra, etc. and takes up the charge. Please understand this philosophy very clearly, what Srila Prabhupada is speaking. Don't get confused. Prabhupada says the administrative post occupied by the demigods for maintaining the regulations of the material world are offered to the highly elevated pious living beings. When there is profuse punya or pious deeds, one is elevated to the heavenly planet, and if his piety is very profuse, he even takes the position of the administrator. But if there is no such qualified being who is elevated to the heavenly planets or who can take responsibility of this administrative post, then the Supreme Lord himself, Prabhupada is saying, when there is scarcity of such pious living beings, the Lord incarnate himself as Brahma, Prajapati, Indra, etc. and takes up the charge. During the period of Swayambhuva Manu, the present period is Vaivashvat Manu, there was no suitable living being who could occupy the post of Indra, the king of Indralok, heavenly planets. The Lord himself at that time became Indra, assisted by his own sons like Yama and the demigods. Lord Yajño ruled the administration of the universal affairs. So it is being mentioned about the seventh incarnation. Aṣṭamo meru devyam tu aṣṭame meru devyam tu nābhirjata urukrama darshayan vartamadhiranam sarvāśrama-namaskṛtam. So the eighth incarnation. He appears as the son of Meru Devi and Nabhir. That is King Rishabha. Urukrama means one who performs extraordinary acts. So the eighth incarnation was King Rishabha, the son of King Nabhi and his wife Meru Devi. And what he does here in this incarnation? In this incarnation, the Lord showed the path of perfection, which is followed by those who have fully controlled their senses and who are honored by all orders of life. Sarvāśrama-namaskṛtam. One who is honored by all orders of life. Sarvāśrama-namaskṛtam. The society of human beings is naturally divided into 8 by order and statuses of life. The 4 divisions of occupation and 4 divisions of cultural advancement. The intelligent class, the administrative class, the productive class, and the laborer class are the 4 divisions of occupation. And the student life, the householder life, retired life, and renounced life are 4 statuses of cultural advancement. See how Prabhupada is classifying. Intelligent class is the Brahman class. Administrative class is the Kshatriya. Productive class is the Vaishya, and the labor class. And student life is Brahmacharya, householder life is Grihastha, retired life is Vanprastha, and renounced is Sannyasa. Are the 4 statuses of cultural advancement towards the path of spiritual realization. Out of these, the renounced order of life or the order of sannyas is considered the highest of all. And this sannyasi is constitutionally the spiritual master for all the orders and divisions. In the sannyas order also, there are 4 stages of upliftment towards perfection. These stages are called Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivājikācārya, and Paramhansa. The Paramhansa stage of life is the highest stage of perfection. This order of life is respected by all others. Maharaj Rishabh, the son of King Nabhi and Meru Devi, was an incarnation of the Lord, and he instructed his sons to follow the path of perfection by tapasya. It is the same verse which we discussed yesterday, where he is giving instruction. What was the instruction? What is the instruction to perform perfection? We discussed yesterday, we have discussed many times. 551. Don't open the verse. Yesterday, Manoram Prabhu showed the verse. Yes, Darshil Prabhu.
The slok I don't remember, but it is tapodivyam. But the Lord wanted to say that being coming into human form of life, you do not engage in the sense gratification. Better you engage in the performance of tapasya to get the real happiness, that is transcendental happiness.
Very good. Thank you. So also here there are 4 divisions in the sannyas also. Very interesting. Anyone knows I have discussed it few times. Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivācāsuraye, and Paramhansa. Sannyasis are also having grades, at least 4. Here it is mentioned the 4. What is Kutichaka? Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivācāsuraye, and Paramhansa. Yes, Dayashil Prabhu. Your hand is up, Dayashil. Acha, okay, yes. Hare Krishna, you are not visible. Why you are not on the chair these days? Daughter is not allowing you?
Yes.
Okay, boliye. Acha, she is sleeping.
Prabhuji, Kutitaka means the person is not left the hometown, but outside the town, he make his own kutia and stay there.
Very good.
And
And he accepts food from his house. He does not, because he has taken sannyas. Sannyas means he has to be out of the social order. He cannot be in the family life. So he leaves the family, he leaves the house, but he does not leave the city or the village. So he makes a separate dwelling, kutia of his own, and lives there and performs service to the Lord. But he accepts food from his house. His fellow members, his family members bring him the food. That is Kutichaka. And what is Bahudaka? Kutichaka, Bahudaka, then Parivācāsuraye. And then there is the Paramhansa stage. Okay, you find out. I will not discuss so much. In some of the purports of Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that. This order of life is respected by all others. Maharaj Rishabh, the son of King Nabhi and Merudevu, was an incarnation of the Lord, and he instructed his sons to follow the path of perfection by tapasya, which sanctifies one's existence and enables one to attain the stage of spiritual happiness, which is eternal and ever increasing. Every living being is searching after happiness, but no one knows where eternal and unlimited happiness is obtainable. Foolish men seek after material pleasure, sense pleasure, as to substitute for real happiness. But such foolish men forget that temporary so-called happiness derived from sense pleasure is also enjoyed by the dogs and hogs. No animal, bird or beast is bereft of this sense pleasure. In every species of life, sense pleasure is also enjoyed by the dogs and hogs. No animal, birds or beast is bereft of this sense pleasure. In every species of life, including the human form of life, such happiness is immensely obtainable. The human form of life, however, is not meant for such cheap happiness. See Prabhupada's word. The human form of life is not meant for such cheap happiness. What is that cheap happiness? Happiness and also cheap. What is cheap happiness? Manoram Prabhu? What is cheap happiness?
Which is temporary, means in long term it is not beneficial.
No, see, based on what Prabhupada is writing in the purport. What is cheap happiness? बोली जल्दी बोली. Yes, Dayashil Prabhu.
So, the pleasure which is easily obtainable, like sense pleasure. Easily
Yeah.
obtainable.
That is obtainable in every species of life. For which you have to don't do anything, it comes naturally. What is this? Cheap pleasure? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So such pleasure or such sensual action or activities are considered to be that one is attempting for cheap pleasure, which Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam discards, completely rejects. Every living being is searching for happiness, but no one knows where eternal and unlimited happiness is obtainable. Foolish men seek after material sense pleasure as the substitute for real happiness, but such foolish men forget the temporary so-called happiness derived from sense pleasure is also enjoyed by the dogs and hogs. No animal, birds, or beast is bereft of this sense pleasure. In every species of life, including the human form of life, such happiness is immensely obtainable. The human form of life, however, is not meant for such cheap happiness. The human life is meant for attaining eternal and unlimited happiness by spiritual realization. This spiritual realization is obtained by tapasya, or undergoing voluntarily the path of penance and abstinence from material pleasure. Those who have been trained for abstinence in material pleasures are called dhiras, or men undisturbed by the senses. Only these dhiras can accept the order of sannyas, and they can gradually rise to the status of the Paramahansas. It is adored by all members of society. King Rishabha propagated this mission, and in the last stage, he became completely aloof from the material bodily needs, which is a rare stage not to be imitated by foolish men, but to be worshipped by all. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. We will take the 9th incarnation of Maharaj Prithu tomorrow. So any question or any clarification from what we discussed so far in these various incarnations? Yes, Sonika?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yesterday you explained that Narada Muni has taken means he has instructed and guided Vyasdev Muni, Prachetas. So Prabhuji, I
did
want
not
to
mention
know.
Pracheta. I did not mention Pracheta.
Actually, it was written
Yes.
in.
And she had written.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Prachetas were actually guided by Lord Shiva. And later by Narada Muni also. Yeah.
My question was who was Prachetas, because in one of the lecture Guru Maharaj also mentioned his name.
When you will come in the 5th chapter, in the 4th canto, there are P, P, P and P. There is the story of Prithu. And then there is the story of Maharaj Prachinibari. DPP, Dhruva. Yeah, Dhruva. Many times I have given lectures on 4th, so I normally begin by that. That if you remember these 5 names, you know the entire canto. The first is the Daksha, Dhruva, then Maharaj Prithu, then Prachinibari and the Prachetas. Prachetas are the son of Maharaj Prachinibari, Varishat. There were 10 sons. Detailed description is there in the 5th canto. And they all went for very severe austerities. And all 10 of them, they had such harmony and such cooperation amongst themselves. So when they performed austerity, the Supreme Lord Vishnu appears. And there is a very wonderful interaction or discourse or blessing given by Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu says that I have not appeared because of your extreme austerity or your Vedic hymns, but I have appeared because I am very happy to see the cooperation amongst all of you. What is most difficult in Kali Yuga is cooperation, because at every moment there is conflict. It's so difficult to have cooperation. Whenever there is some operation, it's very difficult to have cooperation, there is conflict. What to speak of colleagues working together, we have conflicts between the father and the son, husband and wife. As in every relationship, there is conflict. The Lord is very satisfied by seeing the cooperation of these 10 prachetas who are helping each other to realize the Supreme Personality of God. Very wonderful discourse. Guru Maharaj many times takes such discourse, where the Lord is very emphatically declaring why he is pleased. So they are the Sangha of Maharaj Prachini Bhari. So Narad Muni comes to preach Maharaj Prachini Bhari through an analogy. And he sent his sons Prachetas. And the Prachetas, they meet Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva teaches them the song or the mantra. And by practicing that mantra, all these Prachetas, they get the audience of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appears. It is mentioned very vividly described in the 5th canto. So when we will come into the 5th canto, we will see the character of Prachetas. Bhagavatam is very vast. What to speak of Bhagavatam? Yesterday I was hearing one lecture. It was so inspiring. I again opened Chaitanya Charitamrita and some sections of where Lord Chaitanya went to Srirangam and he met that Brahmana who was not able to study Bhagavad Gita. And what a purport Srila Prabhupada is giving. Based on hearing. Otherwise, and on appreciation, I was able to see somehow by mercy. So much, there is so much of detail and depth in the scriptures. One lifetime is short, but still we have noticed. Still we are spaced out in so many other areas, in so many other activities which has no relevance for our elevation or for our realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So those can only progress who are very focused. And those who have, my teacher used to say, those who have clipped their wings. Understand what is clipping of the wings? The bird has the tendency to fly, this way or that way, or whatever way. If you keep flying on your own zones, then we cannot move ahead. You have to be very focused and see. So study, please study very sincerely. Read, hear, share, write. You have stopped writing. Why? I'll share, some other day I will share that purport which I was relishing for last 2 days. I heard what Gita Jayanti lecture of Rukmani Krishna Prabhu. Very inspirational. And that verse is really ringing. So we should try, whenever we have time, we should repeat. And someday you will see, nectar flowing. And then you drown in that nectar. Taste that nectar. Every day we have nectar. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Connect and it will fill you. Disconnect, then it will all flow out. Yes, the hand is up from Dayashil Prabhu's time.
Prabhuji, we hear that in Satyayuga, the incarnation of Lord is not Narayan only.
Yeah.
So there are two Prabhuji, Narayan or
it is mentioned. See the purport, read the translation a little carefully. Everything is mentioned there. Read, please. You have the Bhagavatam with you? Do you have Bhagavatam with you in your hand?
No.
Why? I forced you to take Bhagavatam many years
Yes,
back.
I have the books. I have the book.
Then why did you not keep it with you? What is the purpose of having the book? To keep it on the shelf.
She tears that book actually.
You take care. No, you take care and you train her not to tear. Or you open your laptop and see what is mentioned. Narayan Rishi. I began the class by mentioning about them and asking about them. What is so unique about them? Anyone remembers of Narayan Rishi?
Twin sons of King Dharma.
Yeah, they are the twin sons of King Dharma. But in spite of that, one is Nara and the other is Narayan. Not the same. Found it?
The translation is like this. It is 1.3.9. In the fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nara and Narayana, the twin sons of the wife of King Dharma. Thus, he undertook severe and exemplary penance to control the senses. Okay, two.
So he is the twin sons of King Dharma. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhyajāyata.
Tomorrow I'll be coming. You please invite people. It should not be that it is a little cold, but nonetheless we have to perform our service, our duty. And today, somehow I had the audience of Guru Maharaj and he called me. And he asked me, what are you doing these days? Normally Maharaj never asked like this. And in public, in front of everyone. So I told Maharaj, I am trying to distribute books. Then he asked me, how many have you distributed? So I told Maharaj, around 7,000. Today I did all my calculation. It is 6,200. You people have to help me. A very little help I am getting. Manoram Prabhu has done 700 plus. But what about the big contingent from IRI? So many of you and so little. You see, you go out and see, you go to any place in Delhi NCR. I can assure you, within half a kilometer, what to say of half a kilometer, within 200, 300 meters, you will see devotees distributing books. You go out and please check. Anywhere. But we are so much in our comfort zone, we don't want to, move out. And we are thinking we will distribute books. You ask the boys in the base, you ask Pradeep Prabhu, or you ask Devashish. Every day after completing their job, from 6 to 9, they will go and distribute. If the effort is less, result will never be there. And there is hardly any time left. So many times I am crying, pleading, requesting, but not much change. That spirit is not there to go and distribute. Find time. What find time? Time is there, 24 hours for everyone. So make some effort. And the more you try, the more you get purified. The more you receive blessing. And if you don't try, then you remain. We remain in our conditioned way. And we lose the chance. Maharaj told me, what instruction he gave me. He told me, you catch every vendor. So I said, yes, Maharaj, I seek your blessing. So I am trying. So if you also try, I don't see such effort. Hardly any one of you are making even 10 calls a day. Anyone please raise hand. Every day trying to connect to at least 8-10 people to distribute Bhagavad Gita, or even 5 people every day. Even 2 people every day. All 30 days, an average of, have you approached 50, 60 people so far? If anyone has genuinely done that, please raise your hand. Prabhupada says that philosophy is not for armchair speculation. This way, it will not do good for us. It has to be backed by sincere devotional service. What is the difference between a devotee and a pious man? Difference between a devotee and a pious man is they're completely on the different plane. A devotee is transcendental because he engages in devotional service. I can only share and try to inspire you. The rest is all up to you. Thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada.